have our dear brother Eric with us. Welcome, Eric. Bye.
Thank you. Om Shanti, dear Mohini Didi, and greetings of love to everyone. Every Saturday is very different, of course. And last Saturday, I didn't know, of course, this will be the scene in drama today. And Mohini Didi, I feel that tonight I'm almost coming into a very sacred space. So I come with even higher respect and regard, and I feel I'm entering Baba's room. I feel you're really in Baba's room. We can also call it Baba's Zoom, but it's Baba's room. And it's like we have created Baba's Zoom has become Baba's room. And it feels with the presence of the two daddies and you, it's a very sacred space. And I'm almost, feeling humble to wonder, what am I doing here? This is a beautiful place. You are enjoying your meetings with the daddies. I feel almost as a one from another world coming into the subtle world where you're all enjoying your meetings. So the question I had for you tonight was, someone told me one day that when you both your parents are away and when they fly away, when they leave the body, that's when you become an adult. And I'm wondering that now the three daddies are away. Do you feel like, many of their files have been transferred into your desk and now you are the adult?
Yeah, it's a good question, actually. Yeah, I think that I keep remembering what they used to tell me and reminding me of what they told me. I feel that responsibility towards Yagya. I always loved Yagya. Of course, I am a responsible person since young, but it's like taking responsibility at a different level. So, yeah, but their words of blessings are like, feel that yes, again, as I said, Dadi Gulzar said, it will happen. So I'm also watching drama and very, very interesting to see Dadi living on Shivratri and 12 days, 13 days of Bhog will end when Dadi Janki's 1 year anniversary. So somewhere it feels like, let's see what's going to happen because it's so much, elevated level. And yeah, mm,
As a
definitely.
producer, I know about the drama. We create drama in films and movies and videos, and it seems the Baba says sometimes he's the best director, main actor. I think he's a good script writer as well. He wrote an incredible script. And for me, it's not just, yes, of course, Daddy Gulzar, but it's the three daddies now.
Mm.
And if I'm correct, when I remember when Daddy G was with us, you were very close to Daddy G. And if I'm correct, she used to call you regularly and she would seek your help and she would bring you into thinking and decision making. Then she left. So she gave you a little bit of homework. Then Daddy Janky was taking over. She was calling you. She left. She gave you all the homework. What do you feel you're getting from Daddy Gulzar now that you have to do?
Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah,
I will see. We are continuing still with Dadi Janki's homework. We
right.
will complete 1 year and see what Dadi Gulzar gives us the homework. We will do it. It's not only me. Now I'm happy that you all are with me. So we are big family. So I don't feel that I have to do it or few of us have to do it. No. The producing team is increasing. Many are joining and you all are with us. So I know we all will do it together. Some last homework from Dadi Gulzar. I haven't yet realized what it will be. No one of us realized what homework Janki will give. But now this whole theme of Manan Chintan and taking points from Dadi's classes really helping lot. So all this drama will reveal and unfold, right? There you all produce and plan. But here, I don't know, it's produced and we become part of it.
Well, I can share. I don't know if I can share if it's proper, but I have very often beautiful dreams, and you and Daddy Jenki are very popular visitors in my dreams. And it's always very interesting. And I called you one day after you mentioned things in my dream that was very interesting. And the other night, I was feeling, in my dreams, you were there, and then I was telling you, oh, I have such amazing dreams. And you looked at me and you said, I get messages. So instead of having a dream, you were telling me, I get messages. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. I should get messages in my dreams too. So not just dreaming, but getting proper messages. So I feel you'll be getting more messages. But I think in the Sutta region, the daddies must be really happy to be together again,
Yeah.
and they must have little chit chat, and Daddy Kumarka, Daddy Janki, Daddy Gulzar. And maybe only when the trans messenger arrives, they become a little bit more attentive, give you message. And then when you leave, they start having fun again, I'm sure. So let's see
Someone,
what happens.
some very young person wrote me that, oh, Brother Eric should come every evening. So the sister whom this one wrote, why? Because we never saw Sister Mohini laughing so much. And she laughs when Brother Eric is interacting. So yeah, we having fun, Dadi is having fun, and I think Baba is keeping us very happy because really there is nothing outside in the world, and of course, we all are in company. We are in a big Vyakti Parivar, and recently I read a note where Sister Jayanti is asking everyone to join Amrit Vela with a Vyakti Parivar, attend evening sessions every evening. So it seems like, we all are also having some little extra work, but a lot of fun, right? We are very occupied, very busy planning for evening, but Vogue now every evening, but also I think through Zoom, everyone is, anytime you call, everyone is busy. So I think Baba is also giving us a very good time. That means all ancestor souls are also with us. Yeah.
I'm very happy you feel that way, because when you mentioned you were a little bit emotional today, I was concerned and thinking, do you feel that maybe the daddies are all, leaving, and you feel like you're on a train station and they all took the train and they left, and you said, okay, now I'm all by myself. I'm left behind on the train station, and they all took off with the train.
No way. I always feel them with me,
Yeah.
with us, because yeah, they are always with us in many different forms. One of my relationship, East-Dadi, was friendship.
Mm.
And they always treated me, even since I was young, as I am like them. And, of course, I had little bit of, I will do my homework in deciding, then I ask them. So it's easy for them. But of course, Dadi Gulzar also, we were like two very close friends, very good friends. So they are, so all of us should always remember that they are with us. Today we have one guest also, right?
We have one guy. No, I was going to bring Brother Ken with us. And yeah, so we have them. Daddies are always with you, but you're always with us, and we're always with you. So we're all together. Yes, so we have a very special guest tonight, and all the way from Brazil, we have Brother Ken. Such a pleasure to welcome you in Avyakti Parivar. And yes, I'll be playing my role, asking you a few questions. Brother Ken, very welcome, warm welcome. That's such an auspicious moment. So we were going to take you into your memories with Daddy Janki, but I don't know how many daddies will be in your head at the moment. So you may be talking about daddy and having few daddies popping up, which is fine. But one question I think that we all would be really, really intrigued. We have pictures of you very young, looking very, very very happy, I mean, with daddy. And it was in your young age, in the hippie time, when you and Ken and others joined. Can you take us back to these early days when you had very long hair, enjoy life, and met this very interesting woman that changed your life? So what happened for you at the time, if you remember these early days?
Well, I had just spent 6 months meditating alone in Morocco. I was trying to understand the universe, and I thought, I was only getting more confused. So I was in London traveling. I was a friend of Charlie's, so we lived together actually. And so when I came back, I noticed one morning they were getting up very early to go to going out. Him and another brother, Simon, who was also living with us, and I said, "What are you guys doing this time of the day, like getting up so early?" And they said, "We're going to a Raj Yoga Center." I said, "That's fantastic," because I was already a student of Raj Yoga, the Patanjali version. I was trying to actually practice. I was already practicing all of the principles before I came to Baba. So I I went along with them that morning. So 6 o'clock in the morning, I was there in the center. And Sister Sudesh was there alone, because Daddy and Sister Genti, who were the other two sisters who lived in this very tiny house in London, very tiny house. They were traveling, I think, I think they were in Leicester or somewhere. And so Sudesh Ben didn't know really what to do with me. So I went and sat in the Murli directly. So I didn't even do the introductory course. I just started with the Murli straight. And then after about, I guess, a week or 10 days, Daddy and Gentleman came back. And I was going to the center every morning already. And I remember going into the center, and there was a tiny classroom upstairs where I guess the whole Morley room would fit about 8 people. So I was going up to there to sit and read and to study something. And Daddy was coming down the stairs, and she just stopped and gave me such a, I imagined that was her because I hadn't been introduced. But she just stopped and gave such a loving gaze, and she just said straight off, "You will do Baba's service in the whole world." And so I did it at that stage. I didn't really know or understand who Baba was, and I certainly didn't understand what she was referring to when she said service. But anyway, that was, I guess, when I look back, that was the moment I took my spiritual birth, because afterwards I was trying to come up to that blessing. I took it as a blessing eventually, that I would do Baba's service in the whole world. So I had to understand who Baba was, and I had to understand what service was. And of course, Daddy was there right along, giving such encouragement. I mean, the center there was very few. There were very few foreigners at that time, maybe half a dozen, I guess.
How did your relationship with Daddy Janki evolve? Like, you shared how she, was coming down the stairs and gave you that blessing. But what did you start to feel about her? Were you thinking, what is this person thinking? Or were you attracted? Did you feel some magnetic energy? Did you feel that she was really strong, a little bit sometimes unapproachable? Did you find her easy to
No,
get?
I never really felt like that. I mean, in retrospect, I think we end up putting all of the little situations together in to make sort of sense in our own minds. But I was in London for 3 months, and then I went back to Australia. The centre there closed down as soon as I got there, and I remember writing to Daddy and to Daddy Prakash Mani that I've got all of these things here. I want to do service. I want to do Baba service. So I'm going to start a centre in Sydney. And that's what I did. And then I would get such encouragement actually through Charlie. And he would send Daddy's classes. So my sustenance in those early years, there were no Morleys in English. Can you imagine? And I would get, Charlie would send his notes, and the notes, half the notes were Daddy's classes and half of the notes were Morleys. So notes from the Morleys, actually. That would be our morning class reading. And of course, I came to appreciate Daddy's depth of wisdom in those classes. That every single class was amazing, you know. So even though I was, I don't know, 15,000 kilometers away, I was getting that sustenance. And she was actually, when I thought of someone who was a sort of a model to go with, someone who was a yogi at the same time, was going here and there doing service, and she was the model for sure for me. And of course, with time, as soon as at that time, she was stuck in London because of her visa problems. And I ended up only seeing again physically in 1978. And so when she came to Australia also, and soon after that, I was asked to go to Brazil. Daddy Prakash Mani asked me to go. And Daddy has been a complete, absolute backbone, as Didi Mohini was saying about these daddies. She was a complete backbone for all of the service we ended up doing here, because even in the early years here, our connection was with London, not with New York. New York was the connection, I guess, after Daddy Prakash Mani came to Brazil in '84. So she was the backbone for service here.
Now, you know, of course, we are all going through this experience of seeing the daddies leaving one by one. And regarding Daddy Janki, when you connect still with the memories you have of her, what do you do with these angels in your head, or how do you connect to the seniors, the daddies that have left, or do you still feel that Daddy Janki for you is an inspiration, something that you draw from in your memories?
I think there's a lot of memories, all of her gestures, you know. She had marvelous body language, right?
Mm.
And she was so determined and so courageous and so forthright, also completely unafraid of anything. I remember even once here, there was a lot of violence, and there's still a lot of violence here in Brazil. It's probably one of the most violent countries in the world in terms of homicides. And so there was a reporter asking Daddy, what would you do if some thief came up to rob you? That was the question in the interview. And Daddy, after she understood the question, she just said, with such conviction, that could never happen to me. It's as if she's living in a space that's unapproachable by Lockic sort of standards, or anything Lockic couldn't get to her. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. She wasn't joking. She was absolutely convinced. Of course, if I live in that state with Baba to this extent, nothing can happen to me. I've got so many such memories. Whenever I remember her, there are thousands of little glimpses of things that come to my mind, even things that she told me here and there. And she would always remember, if she ever saw Charlie and me together, she would say, Ken Charlie, you know, Tennyson Road sort of thing. Like,
Ken Charlie, like the name of a band, just like.
Yeah. So it was like, she had so much faith and trust in us.
I know
Absolutely.
she loved you a lot, you and of course Charlie and of course Anthony. I think you were always the three big brothers for us. And I know Ken, some may not know you very, very well sometimes, but even for me, when I was a younger Brahmin, you were very impressive to me. I always felt you were serious, very intelligent. I always felt a little bit Buddha in front of you. So I've always been very shy, but I came to know your heart through your songs. And I kept thinking, how this brother, so seriously looking, be such a tender singer, making me cry all the time, because your songs made me cry a lot. And the one about you came to me with the world in your hand, wanting so much for me to understand. I don't know how many tears I cried on that song. Every time I fell in love with Baba, I played that song to make me feel pain, just to cry more in love for Baba. In your relationship with Daddy Janki, what will be your best tender moments with her? The moments that really you feel she melted your heart and she made you sing those songs.
Well, just her example, the things that touch me is her humility, and there's one scene that I'd like to share with you. This is sort of absolute heartbreaker. We were having our regional coordinators meeting in Daddy's cottage in Yansarova. This was just a few years ago. And one sister was talking about a conflict that was happening somewhere. And Daddy, of course, everyone sort of weighed in and said something. And then Daddy said, I want to say something. And actually, she didn't say anything. She just wanted the attention. And she called the sister who had been, talking about that situation in front of her, and just gave her such a long drishti, and then gave her such a huge hug. And then she proceeded, there were 15 of us there, our senior Didis and, the RC trustee group. And then Daddy proceeded giving drishti and hugging every single one of us. And the whole process took, I don't know, half an hour maybe. And she didn't say anything the whole time. And everyone was absolutely melted, right? And then as if at the end, she looked at us, again not saying anything, said, anything more to say about conflict? That was her attitude. And it was like such a lesson. So I've seen such scenes with her. Amazing, amazing. She would every single RC meeting, she was there. She was there most in the earlier years, the whole time. And so we had such, fun with her, actually. And she would always bring us to a higher level, always. So maybe the higher level is the seriousness that we need, right? But we also have to balance that out with lightness and fun.
Would you think that she surprised you sometime? Was there anything that you felt sometimes was surprising to you from her, or that she caught you off guard, or made you think completely differently, or did you feel surprised?
Yeah, definitely. There was one situation, and of course, as service started to grow here in this part of the world, and I was traveling around non-stop here and there and everywhere to try to get things moving. And we were opening one center per year even, in some place. And then other countries, that was actually Bapdada's instructions to get things going on in other countries nearby. But once I went to Daddy, and never again, I started to complain about one of the people who was doing a lot of not very good things in the center, right? In one place. And I shared that with Daddy, and Daddy just said to me, "Don't complain. You are defaming yourself." And of course, I understood that if I've been the instrument to get something going, and then I complain about what I've been helping create, then I'm actually defaming me, right? That was the lesson, that never I would go to her to complain about anyone ever again after that. I would always check myself. So a huge lesson in that.
Right. I don't know how far. I mean, I wish we could go for another hour, but just a last word maybe, and then we'll invite Mohini Didi to join us. I'm looking forward to hear from Mohini Didi about what you shared. But if you had to say, for example, one lesson that Daddy taught you, which is one of your main dharna today, you know, something that you felt from her that you already managed to apply to your life, which comes from your relationship with her. Is there anything that will come to your mind?
Yeah, I think once I asked Daddy, I'm in a situation which normally a sister would be in. How come, you know? Because our organization puts sisters in front of things. And of course, the secret of putting others in front is there, of course. But Daddy said that, you know, it's because you are merciful. Why am I in this role? It's because you are merciful. So I've never forgotten, actually. I always, that's my standard. I always go back to it. If I'm being a little bit unmerciful, wait a minute, Daddy said I'm merciful. Then I correct myself. Okay?
She's having that art of giving us signals, blessing, and gyan at the same time.
Right.
So let's hear from Mohini Didi if we can invite her back into the conversation. And you, Sister Winnie, smiling. This is good. You must be remembering also Ken from a long time, and you've seen him,
Yeah.
you know, growing. Must be, and I know you're very close together. So must be very nice for you to see Ken also tonight. What comes to your mind, Mohini Didi?
Hello, Om Shanti, brother.
Om Shanti.
I know that, while Brother Ken is talking, the memories of my first visit to Brazil, when Brother Ken was instrument there. And of course, before Jantiben and Dadi used to go, but I was invited, I think in 82 or 83.
83.
Yeah, then I had been going regularly because Brother Ken, I think, make requests to Dadi Prakashmani in Florida. We were sitting in Tampa that if Brazil can get connected with New York. But when I went and I found that I was sharing, even when you all are talking, I am talking in between, that how good he cooks. And when Dadi Prakashmani went to Australia, anywhere I went, at least he will make this tomato sauce. And he knows that sisters like, so he will make some chapati, very nice sabji. And of course, then when we go, we also help. But of course, not only merciful, but very motherly. He's very, I should say brotherly, but motherly also. Because even sometimes brothers, I don't think they realize that how motherly you all are. And of course, for me too, I like, when there is gentleness and love. And so amazingly, he was only 29. Someone just 3 days ago sent me a picture when Brother Ken, maybe I should have shown, very young, 29 years old, and very happy, not happy, but of course, he looked very happy and, very, very, of course, serious too. But he's very, very kind person. And one time Dadi Gulzar told me, she said that's like appreciation. She said, you all sisters went in the West and still they respect you. And so, yes, I said, Daddy, they really respect us. And it's not just externally, it's we consult each other. Then Daddy says, oh, they must be appreciating that you all are sensible. So I said, of course, that they are seeing us that way. So it's a very, very lovely relationship as a brother, sister, co-traveler, whatever way, I think. So I have lot of love and respect for Brother Ken as our brother, and for you too, Brother Eric. You shouldn't think you are less than anyone. You are also big brother now. So we
I
are
would try to
very.
make nice tomato sauce as well. I would be suspicious with Ken because he was a chemist, and I wouldn't trust him cooking as a chemist. I don't know what he would put in the food.
No, but also what he used to make at that time were perfumes. And
Yeah, I know.
very nice perfumes. And I know one time he gave me so many bottles of perfume, and I came and I gave to all the sisters. So he was very creative in many things. And of course, until now, writing for us our guidelines, our policies, and administrative things. So he had been, from cooking wherever. I think he still likes to cook, but he doesn't get chance to cook. But also whenever I went to Latin American countries, I will fry pakoras for them and also like to cook with them. So it had been lovely experience. Even Brother Marcelo had been at some places when I went in the beginning. So these brothers have a very special and important role. So very lovely that he could be with us, and maybe some other time we were thinking
Yes, it's
to bring.
lovely. I mean, it was lovely, the program tonight with the Borg, and of course, remembering both daddies, especially. And of course, we can do some other time as well. Let's see how things go. But everyone is so deeply appreciative of Aviak Parivar. And I mean, even though it's late here, I think it's 10. It's 20 to 11 here
Yeah.
in the evening, but mostly people in this part, they will see everything tomorrow. But everyone's keen to see this ongoing wonder of your resilient sister, Mohini. You have really become such a support for everyone. So we thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
When I said, Gayatri said, Brother Ken, I said, it's 2 hours time difference. We should see. But he said yes, and I was really appreciative. So thank you, and lots of love from Baba to both the brothers. And
Thanks.
thank you again, and Om Shanti, and good night, everyone.
Thank you, Didi. Om
Thank you.
Shanti.
Thank you, Mohini Didi. Thank you, Ken. Good night, everyone. Om Shanti.